And welcome to the HS Game Time Live Blitz from Adrenaline Athletic Training in Corona. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez. Kyle Glazer on assignment. David Zink somewhere on the 91 trying to make his way here to Corona to help out with the show, as we've got a lot to talk about as the spring seasons are winding down. CIF titles and state championships in their respective sports still to be cleared up. On the show today, we're going to break down some breaking news for local high school football and what it means for the San Andreas League. That'll be our top story in just a moment first. And we'll also get to the CIF softball championship games. They are slated for Friday and Saturday at Deanna Manning Stadium at Barber Park in Irvine. We've got 3 local teams that will be playing for CIF championships. So we will break that down, including what Jurupa Hills did today in their semifinal game. It just went final, so we have the breaking score right here on the Blitz from Adrenaline Athletic Training in Corona. We've also got a lot of baseball to get to. If you didn't see the Norco against Riverside Poly baseball game, it was fantastic. Like 2 prize fighters going back and forth. Both teams were landing punches. Both were swinging back. And it was a back and forth battle, seesaw battle with Norco coming out on top. So we'll have those highlights, and we will hear from the Norco star players, Cole Young, who's headed to USC, and also Kyle Hatton. Both guys went deep against Riverside Poly in that victory. Plus, as we mentioned, Kyle Glazer's not here with us at Adrenaline, but we will have him on tape. We kind of broke down the local teams who are still alive in the high school baseball playoffs, and we've got like 6 or 7 according to my math. So we'll tell you who's still alive as the baseball playoffs go to the quarterfinals on Friday. Also, a little golf news to update you. 4 golfers qualified for the SoCal Regional, but one of them will not be going because he's trying to make it to the U.S. Open. We'll have the latest on that, plus track and field Masters coming up on Friday. We'll preview the big meet, and some local guys doing big things in the pros. Of course, Landon Donovan, the pride of Redlands and Redlands East Valley, making a lot of news this week for something that he didn't do, is more so being cut from the U.S. men's national team, but he also made some news on the pitch for the Los Angeles Galaxy. So a local guy doing big things. We'll talk about him. Plus, Kawhi Leonard, the forward for the San Antonio Spurs, hoping to push his team to the NBA Finals. So we'll talk about Landon and Kawhi coming up a little bit later. And if we can pull him away from practice over here, the head basketball coach here at Adrenaline Athletic Training, Cliff Baker, will join us and give us his thoughts on the NBA Finals, and also kind of tell us why Kawhi Leonard is so good. What makes Kawhi tick? Why is he so successful on the basketball court? So we've got a big show to get to. David Zink, as I mentioned, will join us. But the big news coming down today, let's roll some of the video right now, is that the San Andreas League was put into the Inland Division for football from the CIF. Well, they appealed that decision, and the appeal ruling came in today, and the CIF says the San Andreas League will stay in the Inland Division. They were hoping to get bounced down to there, possibly stay in the Eastern Division, but it will not happen. The San Andreas League will be moving to the Inland Division for football. The CIF ruled by a vote of 6-3. So teams for the San Andreas League next season, and it's really hard because teams are always switching around and shuffling leagues, but here's what the San Andreas League will look like for next season. Jurupa Hills, Indian Springs, Rim of the World, San Gorgonio, Rialto, and Arroyo Valley. So that's your San Andreas League for next year, and yes, they will be in the Inland Division. And Tahquitz head football coach Dennis Gregovich put it very well, because his league, the Mountain Pass League, is also making a jump to the Inland Division. And he tweeted this to me earlier today on the old Twitter. He tweeted, quote, "Put Rancho Verde, Poly, Heritage, Rev, and Citrus Hill at the top, and the rest better get a lot better fast. Playing with the big boys now." So Coach Gregovich put it well. As you can see, Jurupa Hills, they won that East Valley Division Championship last year. Their first CIF title, and not only do they jump to what would be the next league up, the next division up, which you could say is the Eastern Division, but they leapfrog a couple, and they go straight to the Inland Division, as well as San Gorgonio, which you're seeing right now. San Gorgonio, the Spartans made that great run all the way to the CIF Eastern Division semifinals. So that's how it all shakes down. San Andreas staying in the Inland Division by an appeal vote of 6-3. And speaking of the Eastern Division, I had a chance to talk with Norda Vista head coach Ken Batdorf over the phone last night. They play in the River Valley League, and the River Valley League is staying in the Eastern Division. And kind of just chatted all about things football, and he's very excited about what he's bringing back at Novi, and they're going to be very competitive. You know, the Braves reached the CIF championship game last year. They came up short against Citrus Hill, but Citrus Hill no longer in the Eastern Division, now in the Inland. So, you know, Ken Batdorf saying it could be wide open, the Eastern Division this season, but he likes what he brings back at Norda Vista, says they should be competitive. And but before he gets real down and dirty with football, he was telling me he's got a big vacation plan, heading to the East Coast for a little bit. Going to eat a lot of lobster and crab and enjoy some time off before coming back to try to make another run to the CIF final. So that's the big football news coming from out of the San Andreas League, and we'll see how that all shakes out this fall and see if the San Andreas League can hold their own against some of these other leagues in the Inland Valley. Now, the other big story we're following today is the softball finals. That's because we had one of the semifinal games taking place this afternoon in Division 5. We'll get to that in just a moment, but first, let's break down what happened in Division 1. King and Cypress in a wild one on Tuesday afternoon. You are looking at a picture of King's Mackenzie Phillips. She scored the game-winning run in the 11th inning as King defeated Cypress 1-0 in the Division 1 semifinals. So King moving on to their first CIF championship game in Division 1, and King will take on Pacifica. King 27-5 overall in the year. Pacifica 28-4-1. So this game will be Saturday night. The marquee matchup slated for 6:30, probably looking more to 7:15 start at Deanna Manning Stadium at Barber Park in Irvine. And there it is, your Division 1 finals. Now, Alexis Osorio, according to EPJ, threw 177 pitches in that semifinal win against Cypress. She had a no-hitter through 9 innings, and she lost that no-no with 2 outs in the 10th. And so King going to their first CIF championship game, taking on Pacifica. And I will be there. We'll have some highlights of that one, so we're excited about that game in Division 1 as the Big 8 League continues to have this great run of dominance in the CIF Division 1 playoffs. We saw 2 years ago, Norco won it all. Last year, it was Santiago winning the CIF Division 1 championship, and this time, King will get its shot to bring home the CIF Southern Section Division 1 crown. So best of luck to the Wolves, and they will be that prime time matchup on Saturday night under the lights in Irvine. So if you have a rooting interest, I'm sure a lot of people in the Big 8 League and just the inland area in general will be cheering on King. So go on out there, check them out. They've got a nice big stadium at Barber Park, so plenty of opportunity to pile in there and support the King Wolves as they go for the Division 1 championship. Now in Division 5, we can tell you that Citrus Valley from the Mountain Valley League had already punched their ticket to play in the championship game. They beat Savannah of Anaheim 5-1 in the semis. Now the other semifinal matchup took place this afternoon, and in fact it just went final. It was Harupa Hills taking on Ontario Christian, and with Natalie Calderas in the circle for Harupa Hills, we can tell you that the Spartans have claimed victory. Calderas with 15 strikeouts to give Harupa Hills a 1-0 victory. And I'm reading some of the stats right here. 15 Ks for Calderas, 1 zip. So that means 2 league rivals from the Mountain Valley, Harupa Hills and Citrus Valley, will play for the CIF Division 5 Championship Saturday at 12:30. I've already seen the Harupa Hills softball Twitter feed already tweeting out this hashtag Operation Blackhawk Down begins. So Citrus Valley being the Blackhawks and Harupa Hills ready to try and take them down. That will be a fantastic matchup. Harupa Hills, I believe, won 2 of 3. I'll have to double check that. But they're familiar foes, and they will meet for the CIF Championship in Irvine, 12:30 on Saturday. Now to the baseball playoffs. The big all-local matchup on Tuesday was Norco taking on Riverside Poly in Division 1. Norco, now our only Division 1 team still alive in the playoffs. Let's check out some of those highlights as the Cougars are going on after winning a slugfest against a very scrappy Bears squad. The Norco High School baseball team was riding a 24-game winning streak heading into their second-round playoff game against the Riverside Poly Bears. Could the Inland Valley League champions knock off the best from the Big Eight? Let's find out here on HS Game Time. I'm Pep Fernandez. The former league rivals now meeting in the playoffs. Pick things up in the first inning. Cole Young, the laser to left field, a two-run homer. The shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, and Young with a two-run homer puts Norco on the board first. Still in the first inning, Ruben Castaneda slicing the double to left field. Jesse Johnson scores, 3-zip Cougars. To the second inning, the Bears down, but not out. Austin Owen ropes the double to right field. Drew Traylor charges home, and he is safe. Dirty at the dish. Poly is on the board, down 3-1. Bottom of 2, Kyle Hatton laces this base hit to right field. Hatton takes a double. Corey Treyes scores, 4-1 Norco. Third inning now. Poly's Jesse Ibarra singling up the middle. Here comes Luke Navigado to cross the plate, and that makes it a 4-2 ball game. Later in the third, Jake Nichols. The big fly to center field barely stays in the yard. Two-run score, and we're all tied up, 4-4. Still in the bottom of 3, Trailer doubling to left center field. Nichols would score as Riverside Poly takes the lead, 5-4. The third inning continues when Owen slaps his ball to the gap in left center. It's like we're at In-N-Out. Double-doubles for everyone. Trailer scores, 6-4, Poly in front. Bottom of 3 now. Here come the Cougars. Castaneda delivers again. Drives his ball into the right field corner. Johnson scores, 6-5. Poly still in the lead, but not for long. Norco's Treyes with a hard grounder to the hole. Cody Covington scores, and we're even, 6-6. Still in the fourth, the Cougars. Johnson triples this ball into the right center field gap. Cole Young, come on down. Norco regains the lead by a score of 7-6. In the fifth, Poly's Owen with the grounder to second. That would play Evan Bibber-Kester, and it's tied again, 7-7. Still in the fifth, the Bears' Andrew Navigado singles to left. Nichols scores, and Poly is leading again, 8-7. Later in the fifth, Luke Navigado's sac fly to left brings home Trailer, and the Bears boasting a 9-7 lead on Norco. But like two prize fighters exchanging punches in the ring, this would be the knockout blow. Kyle Hatton mashing a 3-run tater deep to right field and gone. Hatton watch. The long ball puts Norco up 11-9 in the bottom of the fifth. The rally continues in the fifth for the Cougars as Covington doubles to get on board. So now with runners on second and third, Norco adds some insurance. Can I get a hot tub? And one more insurance run. Nolan Bayer, the sac fly to right, scores Johnson. That makes it 12-9 Cougars. Future USC Trojan Cole Young on the hill for Norco. He pitched the final 2 innings. Here's the final out of the game. And the Norco Cougars win 12-9 and will get sent to Margarita in the D1 quarterfinals on Friday.
Before this game came in, coming into this game, we knew this was going to be a tough one because Poly, they're a team that never gives up. They were in our league my freshman, sophomore year. Every time we played them, it was always a tough game. So, coming into this, I knew we were going to have our bats all around. Props to them for sticking with us for so long, but props to my guys as well for not giving up at all because, it could have went either way. Neither team gave up, and we just ended up getting some things going our way and ended up winning the ball game.
So when they sent you to the hill to close this thing out, were you glad to have the ball in your hands and, and seal the deal?
This is probably one of the most favorite teams I've ever played with. I got all my friends on this team. I was going to do all I can to help get my friends going because this is a great experience. I want to show all the younger guys on our team because we got a lot of young guys here. I want to show them what Norco baseball is all about. So I'm going to give it my all to this team because I love these guys out here. I'm going to do everything I can.
But hey, every time we put up runs, they answered back. They didn't fall down at all. They weren't going down without a fight that game.
What does it say about the character of this team? You guys battled back every time they'd score. Bottom of 5, you've got 2 guys aboard. Were you just trying to move them around, or are you just looking to go yard on that?
Every at bat, they came in 1 pitch in, 1 fastball in, and I took 2 of them before, 1 for a strike, 1 for a ball, and they hadn't came in that at bat. So I had the idea they were going to come in, but I couldn't really sit on it because I had 2 strikes. But they came in, I just dropped the bat head on, and I was kind of waiting for it.
the Norco High. So a well-deserved Gatorade bath for Cole Young and Kyle Hatton. Cole Young taking his talents to the University of Southern California, so he will be a Trojan next year. And Kyle Hatton, only a junior, already committed to UC Santa Barbara, but both these guys could likely be drafted, especially Hatton in a year from now. He could be a top first round, maybe second round pick. So Kyle Hatton doing big things, and he still has his senior year in front of him at Norco High School. So the Cougars moving on. They get Santa Margarita on Friday afternoon in the Division I quarterfinals. Now, we started with a lot of inland area teams, then we had a couple teams, and now we're down to just a handful here. And we've got a couple in Division II, a team in Division III. And you'll see as Kyle and I break it down, it was kind of a rough week for inland area teams, but we still have several divisions with teams alive, still in the hunt for CIF championships. So here's Kyle and I right after that Norco game as we kind of look forward to the CIF quarterfinals and talk about some of these teams who could continue their seasons and challenge for that CIF crown. Well, this segment of the Blitz coming at you from Norco High School, where the Cougars baseball team, Kyle, still alive in the CIF Division I playoffs. The scoreboard behind us tells the story. 12-9 over Riverside Poly in the second round, so it's on to the quarters, right, for the Cougars?
Yes, it is. They're going to play Santa Margarita. You know, Santa Margarita is the number 2 seed out of their league, so Norco's probably going to go in favored. We'll see who's home tomorrow. 9 a.m. is the coin flip. But I got to say, I was really impressed with Norco. They've been killing teams all year. You know, a lot of 10-0 scores, 12-1 scores. They were challenged. Riverside Poly, give them a lot of credit. Matched Norco tit for tat when it came to offense. Poly was up 9-7 late. Norco, you know, they were back and forth all game.
Yeah.
Kyle Hatton, who I think is one of the best junior baseball players in the entire country and should be a top 30, maybe top 50 at the worst overall pick in next year's draft.
Yeah.
Comes up and launches an absolute moonshot to put Norco up. This was a great game. You know, it was a lot of back and forth, 2 old rivals, and this is what you want to see playoff baseball.
Yeah, credit to Poly every time Norco landed a punch, Poly swung back. But big players make big plays in big games. Kyle Hatton, and let's not forget the first baseman, Cole Young, as well.
Yeah, I think his home run got out in about 3 seconds.
I lost it in the camera.
So, yeah,
it was a line drive.
First pitch, line drive, right over the 365 sign. Just massacred the baseball. Second home run in the playoff games, 11 on the year. Norco's got a lot of pop, and you know, we knew that coming in. I really thought that Poly's chance to win this game would be if they could somehow, you know, keep it in the 5-4 range, somewhere in there. If you had told me Norco was going to score 12 runs and Poly was going to have a chance to win, I would have been skeptical, just because Poly, you know, they have a couple guys who can swing it,
yeah,
but they're not the type of team that's really going to come out and put up double digits on you. Credit to them, they did. They were down 4-1 early, fought back to take a 6-4 lead, went down 7-6, fought back to take a 9-7 lead. I mean, just continuously hit the baseball 1 through 9 in the order. A lot of doubles. Austin Owen with a pair, that's their 8 hitter. Drew Traylor with a pair, that's their 7 hitter.
Yeah.
I mean, Poly really did a great job. And we talked about the Inland Valley League was way down this year. You talked to anyone and everyone, it was visible. Poly showed they belong with some of the best, and we saw them beat Mission Viejo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the IVO was way down, but Poly truly was one of the better teams around, and give them credit for really hanging tough with, you know, Norco's an elite team. Don't kid yourself. They're number 15 in the nation, depending on what ranking system you want to go with.
Yeah.
I mean, Poly was right with them and had a chance to beat Norco at Norco.
A lot of teams who get into a slugfest with Norco come out on losing end, so no slight to Riverside Poly. They're not the only ones if you're going to try to, you know, get into a high-scoring game with Norco.
The Norco coaches and players were saying that was the first time they've had anyone slug with them. That was the first time all year, and so they felt it was a great gut check for them. But they were all, you know, very impressed with Poly, as was I. And Poly, you know, obviously this loss hurts, knowing they had a lead going in to the bottom of the 5th. They are not going to have anything to hang their heads about this season, this game. Poly really did very well.
So Norco versus Santa Margarita on Friday in the quarters. Now in Division II, we still have a possible all-local finals shaping up if a couple schools from the Southwestern League can keep their seasons alive right now.
Great Oak made that 5.5 hour trip to Paso Robles, took care of business, jumped out early, won comfortably. They're moving on to the quarters. They're going to have a tricky matchup with Aliso Niguel. Aliso Niguel has a pitcher by the name of Kyle Molnar, right-hander, UCLA commit, junior. He's considered even better than Kyle Hatton in terms of the prospect rankings. Now, Temecula Valley beat him last year. I believe it was in the quarters. Yeah, it was in the quarters. So maybe Great Oak can do the same. And TV today, just keep winning. They beat South Hills, a good team today. Those two teams are still alive. Vista Marietta fell. Redlands East Valley fell. So it's really just Great Oak and TV at the top and the bottom of the bracket.
Holding it down in Division 2. In Division 3, Paloma Valley is moving on.
Yeah, they beat Carter 4-0 today. Good win. Temescal Canyon fell to Cerritos Gar, a very good program, 4-2. So Paloma Valley, I like their odds in the quarterfinals. They're throwing Parker Falcon, who is really one of the underrated pitchers in our area. His ERAs in the low ones all season long. He's done fairly well against some really good teams. He hasn't just padded his stats against the Heritages and the Parises of the world. So we'll see. But I think as long as PV is throwing Falcon on the mound, they're going to have a chance to win their quarterfinal game, whoever they play.
All right, in Division 4, because we're just going in order, but maybe the shocker of this round is the top seed Kaiser bowing out.
So Kaiser, they were up 1-0 in the 7th against Northview. Northview scored 2 in the bottom of the 7th to win it. And, we can say shocker in some regard, but at the same time we can't, because this is what Kaiser does. We talked about this is their 8th straight year in the postseason. They've gotten past the second round just twice. This was the team, if they were going to do it, they were going to do it. Northview was a tough matchup because that's a traditionally very strong program with a lot of guys in the pros and in D1 colleges that had a down year. But traveling to Northview, you knew it wasn't going to be a cinch. But I think for Kaiser to score 1 run against anybody with the lineup they have is definitely a disappointment. And once again, the Cats are going home.
So who's alive in D4? Do we have any teams left? That's it?
Lost as well, so that's it. So D4, there's no one left.
All right, so let's move on to Division 5. Now, we saw Woodcrest Christian and Citrus Valley, some locals already exit the playoffs, but we had Hemet as well as Tahquitz still alive.
Yep, Hemet lost 2-0 today at home to Sierra Vista. Weren't quite able to push through, but Hemet overcame a lot. They lost their top starter at the beginning of the year due to injury. They lost their entire bullpen. They really lost a lot of key pieces. Beat the defending Division 5 champions, finished in second in a very good Mountain Pass league. And, hats off to them. Tahquitz, they keep rolling. They're in the quarters. I think it's finals or bust for them. And then my sleeper, Big Bear.
Yeah,
Citrus Hill
that's
today.
right.
Vinny Haro, one of the more underrated players. He was all CIF last year. He's a good two-way player. He might be an all-area guy. Walk-off RBI single in extra innings to send Big Bear over Citrus Hill and on to the quarters.
So Tahquitz are only team alive in D5 right now?
Big Bear.
And Big Bear.
Yeah,
Okay, Big Bear and Tahquitz right now. Are they on opposite sides of the bracket?
Opposite sides of the bracket.
Oh, that's
so it's
interesting.
Possible,
yeah.
Big Bear is on the same side as number 1 overall seed Santa Ynez. Tahquitz, possible semifinals day with Oak Hills, winners of 2 of the last 3. So still have some space to go, but there's some really good matchups potentially looming in D5.
All right, update on the small schools. We know New View Bridge won, right?
That's our only small school left in D7. New View Bridge won. They're on to the quarters. They made the semis last year. See if they can get back again and maybe even one-up it.
All right, so Kyle, one more time to update everyone. So on Friday in the quarterfinals in Division 1, we have
Norco.
Division 2,
Great Oak and Temecula Valley.
who are on opposite sides of the bracket, so it could be finals. Division 3,
Paloma Valley.
Division 4,
Nada.
Zip. Division 5,
Big Bear and Tahquitz.
and D7.
New View Bridge.
Man, so I mean, this round was real, and between the second round and the first round and the second round, I mean, man, we got cut in half, and then half that, and lopped that off, and
that's what happens.
Yeah.
When you talk about the wild card round in the first round, you're still dealing with some teams that were third place in so-so leagues. I don't really think you can really say everybody's good until you get to the second round. But by the time you get to round 2, you're really talking about the 16 best teams, and the 16 best teams in especially the top 3 or 4 divisions in the Southern Section. Those are all darn good baseball teams, and even in D5. So I think right now this is about the time where you see everyone gets their head cut off a little bit.
Yeah.
And we could see it halved again after Friday. We don't really know, but I will say the teams that are left, they're left because they all have 2 pitchers that could give them good outings, because you can't get past the second round if you don't have that good number 2 in most cases.
And looking ahead, so the quarterfinals are on Friday, and then the semifinals and championship games next week are at neutral sites, right?
Semifinals will be on Tuesday. Those are home sites. And then I believe for Division 1, they play at Blairfield
in Long Beach, yeah.
Division 1, they play Blairfield and Long Beach, but everywhere else it's home fields.
Okay.
And then the finals, Division 1 through 3, will be played Friday night at Dodger Stadium.
Where?
Dodger Stadium.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of that place, yeah.
Divisions 4 through 7 will be played Saturday at UC Riverside. So There's a lot to go until then, but I have to say, when you consider that all of our teams are going to be throwing their number ones, they're all going to have excellent chances to get out of the quarterfinals. And you know, talk about Temecula Valley, Brandon Cook, Great Oak, Brad Wegman. You know, over here you got Kyle Hatton and Norco. I mean, there's so many good pitchers, but they're going to be facing good pitchers too. So we'll see. Might be a battle of attrition.
All right, so Norco's got Santa Margarita on Friday. We'll see if the Cougars can continue their season, make a trip to Blair Field in Long Beach, and then maybe possibly Dodger Stadium for a Division I championship game. But as you said, a lot of good teams in Division I. Those are the big boys.
Those really are. I mean, you're talking about in any given ranking system, those are, you know, 15 of the top 20 teams in the Southern Section. So, I mean, you're really talking about the creme de la creme, and that's why, you know, look, anytime you can win a division championship, it's great, it's exciting, but there's something special about Division One because you know you're doing it the best of the best. There's no buts, there's no wells, and that's why I think it's going to be good for the Southwestern League to get back up into D1 next year so they can, you know, they already showed in the Boris Classic they can play with the big boys. Now they're going to have a chance to prove it in the postseason again, which will be crucial, I think, to their rep and the league rep as a whole.
All right, so keep it tuned to HS Game Time as we follow Norco's quest to see if they can reach that CIF championship game at Dodger Stadium. All right, we've got breaking news. David Zink is in the house with breaking news regarding the CIF Southern Section baseball playoffs. We'll get to that in just a second. We'll have more baseball talk and maybe a little more football talk now that you're here. But we got the basketball coach here at Adrenaline, Cliff Baker. That's here. Let me punch up your graphic I made you, and look at that, Cliff with one F.
Hey, now
just like you like it.
I got a graphic.
Now you know you've made it, man.
That's when you know you've made it.
All right, Cliff, we've had some great conversations off camera about the NBA playoffs and what Kawhi Leonard has meant to the San Antonio Spurs. You just happen to be a Spurs fan, right?
Big Spurs fan. I'm actually a Laker fan at heart. Grew up in Los Angeles, so I'm a huge Laker fan. But the Spurs, you can't really hate on the Spurs, especially growing up in these past 2 decades. A win percentage better than 60% is really unheard of even in the history of the NBA. So I'm a big fan of Popovich and what he's done there.
Now, we knew Kawhi Leonard was already good, but you think with Pop as his coach and the way Pop uses him in San Antonio, it kind of brings out the best in him, would you say?
Oh, definitely. I think if you look at how Greg Popovich has taken what would be considered other people's sloppy seconds and gotten championships with them year in and year out, it's kind of hard to say that with a player like Kawhi Leonard with so many athletic tools and already having a good fundamental base, huge hands, jumping ability, all those wonderful things, how he couldn't find a place for him in a system like that. And especially you look at guys like Tony Parker, Monty Ginobili, Tim Duncan, Hall of Famers, but they're on the back end of their career. They need a guy with a little more spark, someone who can come in, put someone on the island and get buckets for himself, as well as defend on the other end the marquee guys whenever he plays.
So the next big three will be Kawhi, Patty Mills, Tiago Splitter. Is that the next big three?
Patty and Tiago got to mention.
I don't know.
It's crazy when you look at a guy like Timmy, and I like to call him timeless because the guy's numbers don't change. He may get a gray hair here and there. It's hard to consider him out of the big three. But then you look at the organization and the way that from the general manager and Pop as president have gone all the way down. I think they're going to make some pivotal moves coming up quite soon that might switch some guys out. But look to see Tiago Splitter staying. I don't know if Patty Mills is going to be able to stay under that same contract. He's had a great year, and they kind of brought him from the dust. So
but that's what the Spurs do, right? They keep that nucleus, and they just keep adding those parts around them.
They
do. And guys come and go, but as long as that nucleus is still there, they keep winning.
They do, and that's the thing you look at. You even bring in guys like a Boris Diaw or Patty Mills, of course, will represent that very well. They come in and they're given more responsibility, and with more responsibility, sometimes you can deem some better results. And I think there they have a home, but it's just a matter of if, like anything, money runs it, you know, and if they can figure out a way to keep Patty Mills happy monetarily, he should be able to stay.
When does Kawhi start regularly?
Huh?
When does Kawhi start regularly?
He already starts.
Yeah, I know, but he gets how many minutes does he get a game? When is he going to be one of those big three?
Oh, when is he? He's got to be one of the big. Well, if you look at it, this year kind of really did put him on the map. When you do stuff like you block Kevin Durant on one end and then come down and dunk on the whole team on the other side, that puts you on the map from our standpoint. But you can already see now when Greg Popovich is calling his number time and time again. And calling his number in a way, the Spurs are a huge ball movement team. They get the ball off, it touches everybody's hands, maybe even twice. But if you notice, Kawhi is one of the few guys on the team getting isolations. He's one of the few guys that they're calling out, calling his number, putting him on the block, and moving everybody else out the way. So I think it's going to be, after this year, it's going to be his team. I'm pretty excited about that.
Look at that. And he went to the Team USA tryout, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
select
he's one
team.
of those finalists. I mean, he's a big
guys.
deal.
I'm sure he'll make the select team this year. It's honestly looking like it's between him and Harrison Barnes. But off the body of work, how much Kawhi's done, and what Kawhi does for us when we go out and play globally. He's a shutdown guy. He's going to lock you down, and you can't stop him in the open court. So it's going to be pretty exciting.
All right. So we thought San Antonio was going to run away from Oklahoma City, and Serge Ibaka came back, and now we're all even at 2-2. I mean, was Ibaka that big of a piece for Oklahoma City in the middle?
Ibaka was truly a surge, if you will.
Yeah.
He came in, and he's given a boost. I think a lot of it, when you look at coming home and you get your crowd behind you, that's another part of it too. But then having him there for that game and him being able to step up. Now, the second game, winning that one, I really thought the Spurs were going to take that and go home 3-1. But you got to look at it. When they go home, they got to make those adjustments. They're not going to have the fans with them. Serge Ibaka is going to be there, but at the same time, Serge Ibaka did have to miss practice Monday. So will he be able to come back with the same 100%? We don't know. So hopefully.
All right, well, we all want to see Kawhi Leonard succeed and do well and see if he can get an NBA championship ring. But over in the East, it looks like Miami's going to wrap it up. Before you go, I know you've got kids waiting for you, but
I know some
NBA
good
Finals
ones too.
prediction.
NBA Finals
Who's going to be in the finals?
The
Who's
Heat
going to
are
win
going
it?
to
How
be in
many
it.
games?
The Heat are going to be in it. I think if the Spurs can manage to beat the Thunder without taking on too many hits, too many injuries, running guys a little too far, I think you look at a team that old, we only have so many minutes left in the tank, regardless of how long we're playing out. And Miami seems to be getting better every game. Every series they're getting better and rolling. And a guy like LeBron James, when you don't give him the MVP, he's going to win a Finals MVP. So it'll be tough to stop, but my prediction will be the Spurs winning it in 7. I think it'll be what all of us NBA fans want to see, Spurs in 7, but it'll definitely be the Heat finishing out this next game.
You know, they should have won it in 6 last year, right?
Needed it.
I didn't mean to bring it up. I'm just saying they should have won it in 6 last year.
And Tim Duncan missed that pivotal layup. Oh, it was right there. That would have been it.
Yeah.
It was the age. That was the one day we can call him age. Okay.
Man. All right, Cliff, you're the best, man.
Thanks a lot, brother.
You got kids working hard over here. I know you'll get back to
him.
them, and I appreciate it, man.
Back to work for Cliff.
He's breaking it down, man. He knows basketball. I pretend like I know basketball.
I disagree with him on several
basketball.
things, but it's okay.
He's the expert. Are you over there coaching him? Are you coaching those
All
kids?
I'm telling you is I disagree on a couple things. I think that Tim Duncan is nearer the end of his career than we think. He can play a lot longer, though, because of the position he plays. But
you might be right.
And that Kawhi needs to be one of the 3 and needs to be him right away. I think they've kind of waited too long. I think he's already ready. I think they've proven this year he's ready.
Well.
Oh, hi, by the way.
Hey, it's David Zink with breaking news.
Sorry, I just kind of ran over here. Actually, I drove over here, and if you've been on the 91 freeway in Riverside any time in the last, 6 months to a year,
it's a mess.
Just ridiculous. So I'm here though. And you know, I didn't know if I told you, but Paloma Valley was going to be playing against Peninsula.
Okay.
In I think it's the quarterfinals, correct?
It will be the quarters on Friday.
Quarterfinals in baseball. And it was just announced by the CIF in the last couple hours. I saw an email come through, and basically Peninsula was busted, as they say, busted. For they were doing something that was illegal. You can't take batting practice before a game. There's only 3 things you can do. Do you know what they are? A little pop quiz here, Pep. What are the 3 things you can do as a baseball or softball team before a baseball or softball game in the playoffs of CIF?
I know. I think I got all 3. Eat sunflower seeds, chew gum, and put the black stuff under your eyes.
And there you are. You're suspended. He's already kicked out of the playoffs too. What you can do is you can take soft toss from the side.
Okay.
Okay.
And that's where they just kind of like lob it to you. Someone, kind of kneeling down
and there's various versions of that. So basically, pepper, soft toss, those are the kinds of things you can do.
Okay, it's 1.
No, there's 2. Pepper, soft toss.
Oh, that's 2. Okay.
And then there's one other one. I forget what it is, but it's all basically the same ilk. It's like soft toss. What you can't do is you can't go stand in the bullpen.
Like in the actual cage.
Right. In the bullpen. Let's say your pitcher's warming up. You can't either stand in the batter's box and take swings at the balls that's going by. You can actually stand in there with your bat and actually try and time and practice that way without ever moving the bat off your shoulder or not having a bat in your hands. And you cannot take batting practice.
So you're telling me Peninsula won their game, but they were doing this before their game, so now they're out, and the team that lost, Santa Monica, is moving on.
And I think the reason that they do this is because a lot of teams have to travel for playoff games. The home team has the advantage by being able to take batting practice. The visiting team gets there, and even if they get batting practice, it's a very
like
short batting
scramble,
practice.
right,
Well, and based on the fact you play 3 o'clock games and you have kids who are in school and all that, you can't really let a kid out of school at 9 o'clock in the morning to go to a 3 o'clock game so they can get a couple hours of batting practice in Major League Baseball.
Unless you're Great Oak and you play at Paso Robles, then you leave at 6 a.m. or I don't know when they left.
The rule is that they can't even do that anyways. You can't take batting practice before a game. So,
all right.
So it's no longer, it's no longer Peninsula. They're now playing, for all you Paloma Valley fans, you'll now be playing Santa Monica, and you'll be playing at Santa Monica.
And that's Division 3. And while we're talking about those games, let me just list off the other ones because we really don't have that many left at this point, Zink.
Right.
Division 1, we have Norco at Santa Margarita. We just saw the Norco highlights. We rolled in. Division 2, we have Great Oak taking on Alyssa Nogel and Temecula Valley at Dana Hills. And they're on opposite sides of the bracket. So Temecula Valley and Great Oak could meet in the Division 2 finals if everything worked out. Division 5,
Who you got?
Between those two?
I'm going to go Temecula Valley.
Oh, man, I don't know, because Great Oak won the league, but Temecula Valley won the Boris, and Temecula Valley's playing a lot better because
I just
they
go old
had
school
some
to new school. I'll take Temecula Valley. Golden Bears, baby.
I don't know.
Go Bears.
I'll have to sleep on that one. Division 5, Talkwitz against Village Christian. And Division 7, your team. You've adopted this team. I know they people accuse us of playing favorites and being homers.
I'm not afraid.
This is your team.
I'm not afraid. Newview Bridge. I mean, come on. They've got a coach who is actually a walk-on coach, a substitute teacher that took over the coaching job about 6 years ago. It's his 6th season. Has won roughly 20 games every year, and we know nothing about them. In fact, today I found out that the first time he ever did a phone interview or any type of interview with anybody from the media was me today.
Long overdue.
It's kind of funny. It took 5 years, and you're into your 6th season. You've been to the quarters and the semis each of the last 2 seasons, and we can't find time to talk to you. That's called small school bias.
So you went out there and you just did another story on Newview Bridge a couple weeks ago, right?
I'm starting to become a hunk. Hey, wait a minute. We couldn't avoid that one. That was a very nice story.
It was.
Girl getting an academic award, and then she tells me the sad story of the death of her sister, which was really kind of hard to take and hard to write about, but all things that end well.
So, moral of the story, there's some great kids at Newview, and they're doing some big things, especially on the baseball field right now. So we'll see if they can keep it going in Division 7, taking on Animo Leadership. You know what city that's in?
No.
Me neither.
Amino.
Animo. Well,
I see it as amino.
Well,
like amino acid? That's how I remember it.
But it's Animo with an N.
I get it.
In case you want to try to spell it out. But
just trying to keep it in
I
my head.
actually shot, it was Newview. I think it was Newview. Newview against Animo for the soccer finals. Not this past soccer season, but the year before.
When they lost.
Animo won that.
When we ignored them the whole season, and then we went to go cover them, and they lost.
I hate when that
Remember
happens.
that?
I do remember that.
Remember that, yeah.
I hate when that happens. Teams want coverage.
Someone on our staff took that as a badge of honor of some sort, and I take it as an insult to that team. We ignore them all year long, and when we finally show up, they lose. How does that work out?
All right, so that's all the baseball up to date. We're gonna get some track and golf in a second, but let's back up and rewind to the football chatter a little bit, because I was sitting here talking to myself for 20 minutes about the San Andreas League, and the CIF Zink ruled today. It was our lead story that the San Andreas League will stay in the Inland Division for football, and I was making a case that they, I think they'll hold their own. I think it's not a huge drop-off with those other leagues, but I feel like they could have fit in a lot better, let's say, in the Eastern Division where they were.
I think it's a wash either way. To tell you the truth, most of those teams are of the size that they can do it. We talked about this morning. RIM is on the edge of being able to do it, but they've done it before, and they've been on the other side of that. I mean, in the last couple of years, they've been in a league where and a division where a lot of the teams are very small. I mean, RIM won a CIF title playing against Christian schools, right?
They did.
So, I mean, it's the other side of the coin.
Yeah, it's like a pendulum swinging back and forth, and at this point, I mean, RIM of the world. Let's see.
And actually, to probably put it in perspective, for everything that's been changed, I'm going to say that at least for the Inland Empire teams, 90 to 95% of it is all positive.
Yes.
There's about a 5% that, like you were talking about.
You can't make everyone happy.
No, and if you're making San Andreas happy, who are you moving? And what are you doing with that, you know? And if you look in the inland division, I don't know if we talked about this, but in the inland division, I think it's a fantastically competitive division now. And we've got our two big leagues, the Southwestern and the Big Eight, probably playing where they belong to play too.
I think, like you said, I think for the most part, everyone is excited and feels like CIF got it as close to right as they could. The only suggestion I made, and this is when we had Coach Fazio on previously, that you move the Desert Valley into the Inland Division and take the San Andreas out. Put Palm Springs, put La Quinta, put Palm Desert in with those,
I think the commute is too much. I think the commute is too much on a regular.
They've got money out there. They can drive.
Yeah, but then again, you know, they do have to. They're going to have to drive wherever they go, anyways, or people are going to have to drive to them.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what division are they in the same division with the high desert schools?
They are.
So they did that right. They did that one right too, because the commute is about equal fare for high desert to the low desert.
Well, the Desert Valley is in the Eastern Division. So if you think about it in the way the divisions were structured, they kind of went down. So now they're playing the River Valley League, Ramona, Norte Vista, the Mountain Valley, which is
Palm Springs got to be happy.
Yeah, I mean when everyone else, because they were a Central Division school, when all those other Central Division schools and their leagues went up to the inland, they actually went down.
Well, but if you look at the Desert Valley League, there is a disparity between the top and the bottom of that league.
Sure,
and a large disparity.
Really good teams.
No, there's two. I think there's two. There's one in the middle, and there's three down at the bottom.
Who's in the middle? Palm Desert.
Yeah, Palm Desert I mean, you could go any way depending upon sport. But I mean, Palm Springs is probably the most accomplished school. No, I wouldn't say that.
Well, Palm Springs played Rancho Verde for the title. What was that? 3 football seasons ago. I think
it was in 2011 when Rancho Verde won the title, and they did get beat pretty well. But the Palm Springs has won a title in that division.
All right, so
you're sick of hearing about that, aren't you?
No.
You just already moved on.
No.
Hey, wait a minute. Before we go on any farther, since we're on football, little shout out to Big Mike from Norco. I got your email a couple weeks ago. He's an old school guy from the original years of doing HS Game Time Friday nights, and you know, he was a good dude. He'd call into the show. We'd have fun with him and things like that. And we caught him a couple times while we were out on remote doing the playoff games when we were at Vista Marietta and when we were at Centennial. And so I wanted to say, hey, Mike, shout out to you. But you got to take it easy on Pep. First of all, he's not an elf.
Yeah, I don't.
And second,
it's just a little pointy, and I don't always wear the little hat with the little jingle ball.
Second of all, I agree with you. He's a homer, but that's what he does. That's just what he does.
And he's not the guy from Norco who said I had a pretty mouth. That
no.
That's not him, right? I hope it's not you, Big Mike.
No, Mike never said that. But the thing is that you know, he does honk for a lot of schools, but it's equal opportunity.
Sure.
I think it's fair. And everybody knows that, so you know.
All right. Well, since you're such a smart guy here,
smart guy.
There's a new San Andreas League right next year. A lot of shuffling. I want you to try to name the the 6 schools in the San Andreas League for football next season. Can you do it? I had to look it up. So
San G.
Okay, there's one.
Pacific. No, they're out of that league. Hold on, San G. Indian Springs.
Yep.
San Bernardino.
No.
No.
We just talked about 2 of them.
What?
2 former East Valley Division champions who are going to the San Andreas League.
See, I've already blown up. Just do it. We're wasting time here.
All right, so Harupa Hills and Rim of the World are the 2 that just won CIF titles recently. You mentioned Indian Springs, the new school, San G. The 2 that you were missing, the Rialto Knights. It's a good day to be a Knight. Whoa, it's a good day to be a Knight. Come on. I was a Knight at one point.
Last time I saw the Knights play in person, Don Markham was the coach.
In Arroyo Valley. Last time I saw Rialto, Vinny Fazio was at Carter coaching against him.
Hey, Vinny.
Back in the day.
Think Vinny's watching?
You know what? I think he's got Wednesday night practices at Ramona, so he might be tearing it up right now.
Hopefully he'll watch it. Hopefully he'll watch it and rerun.
So, hey, when I tweeted this out that the San Andreas was staying in the Inland Division, your boy Dennis Bregovich at Talkwitz, he tweeted this out. Put Rancho Verde, Poly, Heritage, Rev, and Citrus Hill at the top, and the rest better get a lot better fast. Playing with the big boys now.
You know
So, I
what?
mean, he feels the pain. He's in the Mountain Pass League, and
But
he made the jump.
He echoed exactly what we were talking about when this first happened. Remember,
Yeah.
we said, give us your top 5, and that's the top 5 we gave.
Yeah, and I think Vinny Fazio said the same thing. Like those are the 5 teams who have the inside track of going all the way. But you just never know. But those definitely are 5 of the best right there. So
now we're going to golf?
we're gonna go to golf.
Yes.
That's your thing.
Well, I mean,
There's 2 things you know:
I dabble.
New View Bridge and golf. Those are your 2
I just
things.
dabble. I just dabble in. I'm dangerous. I just know enough to be dangerous. That's it.
Well, let me ask you this: have you ever played at Mission Lakes at Desert Hot Springs?
No, I have not.
Well, your boy Redlands
KK
KK Limbazoo, yeah, 67.
to beat Aaron Wise by a stroke to win the CIF Southern Section individual crown.
That is correct.
That's very
Wait,
impressive.
where's Aaron Wise from?
Aaron Wise from Santiago.
Where?
Santiago. Santiago.
I didn't understand you at first. I've never heard of that.
Sorry, I mispronounced it.
But you know what? I read the story that the great Landini
Yep.
and Negri wrote,
Yeah.
and Aaron Wise is not going to go to the SoCal Regional for state. No, he's
Now, I know what he's doing.
What
You
is
know
he
why? I think it's a qualifier for U.S. Open.
yeah. Tiger Woods just backed out of the U.S. Open today. It's Aaron Wise's to go in there and just win the whole thing now, right?
Wow. There's a few others he's going to have to
Oh,
get by
no.
before he does that. But, I mean, it's always possible. Amateur has won it before. I can't remember when, but an amateur has won it before.
All right, so KK Limbazoo at the 67 won it. He goes to the SoCal Regional. We had 2 other golfers also qualify. Excuse me, Sage Kasaga from Murrieta Valley and Temescal Canyon's Hunter Newland also qualifying. It's at Brookside, which is in Pasadena, correct?
Yes. And the state tournament is also in Pasadena.
Oh, is it really?
Yes,
'Cause
at the
usually they
San
hold it up
Gabriel
by,
Country Club in
Carmel,
Pasadena.
right? Or up there, Pebble Beach.
They
usually?
have it all over. I was
Yeah.
kind of surprised that they had both the qualifier and but they're not the same course, but they're the same town, Pasadena.
All right, so good luck to our 3 guys who are going to the qualifier for state.
I'm
Monday,
kind
June
of
2nd.
sad Aaron Wise is not.
It's his senior year. I'd love to see him, give it a shot for the state title. But he'll win the U.S. Open and he'll just forget about it.
Maybe.
He'll just go win the U.S. Open.
Maybe it could
Where
happen.
is the U.S. Open?
The U.S. Open is at
You're the golf guy.
the U.S. Open is at Pinehurst. I think it's Pinehurst number 2. Am I right?
I was going to say Beth Page Black.
No, now I want to get my vote.
Well, hey, why don't you look it up real quick, and I'll go on the track for a moment
Uh-oh.
because we have the CIF Masters coming up on Friday. I know Jeff Parenti's all geeked up about it. He'll go out there with his big straw hat.
Oh, God darn, I'm getting tired.
I
What
hope
are you
you're not.
talking about?
Hey, I hope you're not yawning about track and field.
I'm not Yanni about track and field.
Yawning about. Hey, but there's Margot Jones, another Redlands girl. I know you're thinking I'm homering for Redlands again, but I can't help it. She's the #1 long jumper right now in the state.
And Redlands won a title.
They're good. What do you want me to do? I can't help it.
I find it very impressive.
20 feet 3 inches. She has the top mark going into the Masters meet at Cerritos College on Friday. That is Roosevelt's Jasmine Graham. She is the hurdler to beat in the 100 hurdles. Her teammate Jayla Williams, another one to watch. Those 2 girls from Roosevelt will be battling for that title. But as we mentioned, Margot Jones hoping to win a state championship in the long jump, but she'll have to go to the Masters meet first and qualify, which, barring a disaster, she will do that. A couple other names to look for would be Vista Marietta's Michael Norman. He goes in with the #1 time in the 400, the second best time in the 200. Juanita Webster from Redlands in a couple events. And, of course, Carter's Eric Moore, 6'9" in the high jump, a favorite to win the state championship. Eric Moore from Carter. Okay, U.S. Open update.
I was right.
News.
Pinehurst number 2.
Breaking.
I was right.
No.
I was right. It wasn't breaking. I shouldn't have second guessed myself. I mean, we can go into stories.
Hey, I was going to guess, if it wasn't Beth Page Black, I was going to guess Brookside, I guess. But,
Page Black.
I don't know. Where is that? Is that New York or something? I don't know. I just pulled that one out.
Where is it here? You can read it right there. It's the women's and the men's, right?
Right there, Pinehurst. Yep. Well, look at you, Mr. Golf over here.
I like how they say the U.S. Open and then the Women's Open.
The U.S. Women's.
Wow, that's really, yeah. So
All right, so there it is.
I will say it should be at Augusta. Beautiful golf course.
Curious if Aaron Wise has ever played at Pinehurst.
I would hazard no.
You just never know. He's a world traveler. He's from South Africa.
I will say this: he's never played Pinehurst as it's set up for the U.S. Open. I know that.
Okay, that's fair. You can say that. All right.
So now we're going to talk about Landon being snubbed.
Well, here's the deal.
Why do we always end up on Redlands topics? I'll take Redlands topics for 100, Pep.
Here's the deal. We were talking about local guys doing big things in the pros. We were talking about Kawhi Leonard playing for the San Antonio Spurs, trying to win an NBA title. Landon Donovan, obviously big time in the news. He had a milestone for the LA Galaxy over the weekend. So let's start first with him being snubbed from the U.S. men's national team, the pride of Redlands and Redlands East Valley, and he's not going to the World Cup.
Snubbed a little harsh.
No, it's snubbed.
I don't know how he's snubbed.
Why would he not be snubbed? Tell me.
Well,
why
there's
he
only
doesn't
two.
belong
There's
on the
only
team.
two. There's only two decisions you can make: yes or no.
Okay.
So if they say no, it doesn't mean he's snubbed.
Well,
They respectfully declined.
Listen, he's played in 3 World Cups.
Yes.
He's a winner. I mean, they're better with him on the field. I know there's a lot of questions. There's rumors about his desire, maybe his fitness level. But they're better on the field. He just went to that CONCACAF Cup. He scored like 5 goals. He was the team MVP. I think it was a personal beef. That's my opinion. And I think they're better when he's on the field. He's 32 years old, so don't even tell me, oh, he's too old. He's not in his prime anymore. He's 32 years old.
You Redlands guys, man, you all have to stick together.
We do.
It's always got to be, oh, Landon was snubbed. Oh, it's so wrong. It's crazy. Hey, what about the wife? Explain how upset the wife was when she found out.
Oh, she wants to boycott the World Cup because
boycott the World Cup.
The whole World Cup.
Because Landon
She's going to get on Twitter, maybe start that hashtag, boycott World Cup, and see if we can really get that going. The hub will be in Redlands. We'll just spread it out across the world. And nobody watched the World Cup until Landon Donovan has to start.
We'll put a dent in those TV ratings.
Hey,
let's knock that one out of the yard.
Jurgen Klinsmann, here's my prophecy here. That Jurgen Klinsmann cuts Landon Donovan, goes to the World Cup. The U.S. has nothing going on the attack, on the offensive end, and it's going to blow up in his face. I think he's under contract through, 2018?
Through the next World Cup.
Well,
and now I can give you my 2 cents as to why I think he did it.
Why?
There is a little bit of bad blood between them.
It's personal.
Well, when he brought him back to the Bundesliga, Landon didn't really, end up. And I don't know why we're talking soccer. I bet you the click offs on. It's like, oh wait, I got to go watch a YouTube video.
But he's a local guy.
Yeah, okay. So you want to talk leg wrestling because Jimbo's a local guy?
Leg wrestling.
Sure.
How about
it's
shin
a sport.
kicking?
Shin kicking.
Yeah.
I like that one.
It's real. Or
hay in the socks.
Or I like cheese rolling.
Cheese.
Where you take
down the hill.
Like a wheel of cheese and you roll it down the hill.
And we have absolutely fallen off the reservation here.
Anyways, one quick question for you. So Landon Donovan is Major League Soccer's all-time leading goal scorer now. He's the Hank Aaron of soccer. Don't say Barry Bonds. He's the Hank Aaron of soccer. Can you tell me how many career goals your boy Landon Donovan has now?
300 MLS, right?
Yeah, just Major
Is
League
it 358?
Man, I know you think highly of Landon, but not even close.
258.
No.
158.
Lower still.
The MLS goals?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's at 136.
Whatever.
Still a lot.
I didn't know. I was guessing.
Listen.
You could tell. Could you tell by my guesses?
If it's not Newview Bridge or golf, you don't want to talk about it. I get it. That's fine. Landon Donovan's my boy.
No, I told you. On everything, I know just enough to be dangerous. That's it. Someone starts asking me deep questions. I'm like, who's the head coach? And Pep, who's that head coach? It happens all the time. Am I constantly asking, what's that guy's name?
You are.
What's that guy's name?
You are.
I
you know a lot of things, just names not your strongest suit.
Believe me, names are horrible.
Well,
right, Chet?
Chet. Sure, Bob. So we've touched on the major news headlines we had at the top of the show. Of course, the San Andreas League. We talked baseball about who's advancing. The other big story was this afternoon, Harupa Hills, the softball team, punched their ticket to the CIF Division 5 final. So it's all Mountain Valley League championship game as they take on Citrus Valley. And Zink, you'll like this. Shortly after, like minutes after Harupa Hills won, their Harupa Hills softball team's official Twitter tweeted this out. Hashtag Operation Blackhawk Down.
Oh!
Citrus Valley being the Black.
And the trash talking begins.
Well, they're league rivals. You know, they see this team a lot already. I'm sure they know each other. There's that rivalry already building, and now they get to see each other again with the whole thing on the line.
Well, Citrus Valley better enjoy this because come a year from now, right? They're a different place, aren't they?
Citrus Valley will be in the Citrus Belt League. So what that means for softball, I'm not sure, because in baseball,
well, that's a division difference, I believe.
For Citrus Belt for baseball is Division 2. So softball, I would assume, is Division 2 as well. But
I mean, I don't wish ill will on any of these schools, but I'm glad to see that some of these schools are actually getting to the point where they need to be. You know, I think when we talked with Coach Gregovich, you know, he kind of lamented the fact that they were going up a little bit, but he also talked about the fact that he was glad they were going up because by going up they're going to reach for a higher rung.
Yeah, you're right.
You know, and those kinds of things are good. And I'm not wishing bad things for Citrus Valley or schools like that. I mean, Citrus Hill will be more legitimate in other people's eyes. They know how good they are, but now they can come up and play with some of the bigger teams and prove it to other people. What's always the argument about Citrus Hill? Well, they don't play anybody. Yeah, they don't play anybody. They just run over their league.
Florida Vista, because they had a great team last year, but in the championship game, I mean, the Hawks made it look easy against the Braves.
Right, and I think it's true that Citrus Hill has for a few years needed to go up, just like Citrus Valley has probably needed to go up. Like Tockwitz has needed to go up, and there's probably a few more that need the same thing, you know. I mean, but sending the San Andreas League down, I don't think that's a solution.
All right, well, CIF thinks they have a balanced playing field now. So, I mean, in the case of Tockwitz, we can say this, that Gregovich built that program so they could compete with Citrus Hill. I mean, they almost beat them last year, so they're at that point where they're ready to maybe take that next level, and they'll have to, because they're going to see teams like Heritage and Elsinore and schools like that, Carter in the playoffs.
Well, you know, Gregovich started that tradition, and I know he wants to grow that tradition, and this is the best way to do it. You know, isn't he the one who brought the rock in? They all touch the rock. They all do those things. It was a brand new stadium. It was the brand new stadium, and it's all these things, and they were just this new aspiring school, and now it's great. They're going to be going up and playing. They're probably going to take some lumps along the way, but I have a feeling they're going to do well. It's probably going to help them become a better team.
That's right. So we'll probably talk more football next week. I had a hard time tracking down a football coach. There's a lot of senior nights and graduations this week. I think Centennial, Citrus Hill, a lot of schools wrapping up their school year this week. But hopefully next week we'll jump back into our
Rancho Verde is graduating this evening right now.
See, Rancho Verde, Centennial, Citrus Hill. So a lot of schools doing that. But we'll continue our football talk. I've got some players and coaches already hit me up 7-on-7 passing leagues and all these tournaments coming up and stuff. I know Paloma Valley's the big one, July 12th, already on my calendar. So we'll continue the football talk.
July the 12th. That's coming really quick.
Sounds hot. It's always hot out there.
Yeah. Lewis.
I hope Lewis is watching.
Lewis.
The Godfather, one of the founding fathers of HS Game Time.
He is.
Video.
He is. He absolutely is. If it wasn't for him, this would not be here. Recognize. In true Lewis fashion, I just dropped my mic and walk off. Pick up your backpack and say, "This didn't work well," and leave.
Who wants to go to Denny's and get pancakes? I'm so mad.
Oh gosh.
All right, we're over an hour already. We got to stop this. But hey, here's the good news. We will be back next Wednesday live at 5:30.
Or bad news, however you take it.
Are you going to be here on time?
I'm efforting.
If this was school, I'd have to mark you tardy and send you to the office.
Okay, well, I'll do detention. I'll be here next time. Actually, next time we should probably get somebody on here that we can have some fun with. Because talking to you.
Hey, if you want someone fun to talk to, and I'm going to try to work this out, I'm trying to get the guys from Primetime Polynesian to come down. Because the Kumite is coming. Maybe they can demonstrate some of their
That almost sounded scary. The Kumite is coming.
Kumite.
You know, actually, that's a great event. I'm going to go out there and write something on that. I really am. I'm going to do something on them.
Hey, I'm going out there.
We got to get them here this next week because I want to talk to them because I'd like to do something on that because I really think that I think the proof is in the pudding on that one. I mean, there are a lot of kids who've gone through primetime Polynesian who are now playing. I can think of one, my friend's son, who's up at Washington State right now getting ready to fight for a starting line position, and he went through that. And Sean Krebs, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You absolutely get better by being there.
Well, just off the top of my head, they had Damian Mama, who was at St. John Bosco, now at USC. Of course, Vianney Talamavao. Cameron Hunt, who's at Oregon. Sean Krebs. I mean, anyone who's everyone in Southern California who's one of the top linemen, they go there, they train, and they do this, hand-to-hand combat.
And it looks like it's kind of gotten a little bit farther out from just being linemen too. They're kind of taking any type of the bigger positions. Like if you're going to be a linebacker, defensive
they're starting
end.
To branch out.
It's not because it started out as just interior linemen.
Yeah. Well, Juju Smith, the star athlete at Long Beach Poly, who's whatever he wants to be, a linebacker, safety, receiver, whatever. He trained with Primetime Polynesian as well.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to try to get them on this. In fact, I'm going to text him right after this. Chris, tell him about. See if they get him here. Maybe have him demonstrate some stuff right behind us here at Adrenaline.
Or do the war dance, something like that, because they do that, get all the guys
they
together.
They sing and they dance at every Primetime.
We can probably get that one going.
So that'd be awesome. So big thanks to Cliff Baker, the head basketball coach here at Adrenaline Athletic Training, talking Kawhi Leonard and the NBA playoffs. And we'll be back next Wednesday live at 5:30, and we'll know who's going to be playing for baseball championship games, who advances. Hopefully we have
we'll know all the softball winners.
That's true. Yeah, all the championship games wrap up on Saturday in Irvine. For David Zink, I'm Pep Fernandez, and we'll see you again next Wednesday live at 5:30 from Adrenaline Athletic Training.